Welcome back to the North End. This is the Sunday Roast.
This is the North End. This is the North End.
Hello and welcome back to the North End. This is the Sunday Roast. This is a show we're going to be doing every Sunday at 8 o'clock, hopefully.
That's a hella catchy song, by the way.
Yeah, you like that? You like that?
We're back.
We're back, baby. This is the Sunday Roast with Paul and JP, and Mr. Convery is supposed to be joining us. We'll see how that goes. Mr. Reliable, Mr. Convery. Paul, how you doing, brother? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm a little bit worse for wear. I had a cottage weekend this weekend, so I'm a little bit stretched out. Like I don't go to the cottages to like relax and recharge. I go there to like
to partay.
Just fucking put it all out there and come back exhausted.
Nice. JP, California, how are you, brother? How's your summer going?
I did the same yesterday. It's going well. It's been bakingly hot here. But yesterday was the baby shower for the missus, and I too went to have it all out there, and now I feel mild at best.
Now's the time, man. Now's the time. Can't do it for much longer.
Two more months is all I have.
2 months, you got to get it in, man. You gotta,
Yeah. Use
your time wisely, buddy.
You're drinking for 2 months.
Here I am with you lots.
I know, right? That's not so wise, is it? So speaking of summer, I mean, obviously it's been a bit of a wacky one for transfers. We had a Euros that happened, and the Euros stalled a lot of what we were hoping to happen when it comes to transfers early on because of a lot of the players were still out. How are you feeling about your summer so far, Paul? You Man United, are you happy with business, or you feel like there's more to be done? What are your thoughts on United at the moment?
Well, it's definitely different, which is good. Like things were bad before, and this is different, and different just by virtue of being different is already good. So I'm very optimistic compared to like summers past. We do seem to be attached to a lot of people, but like not as crazy, like sheer volume as what they had done before. And it seems like when we're really attached to somebody, there really is something to it, and it might happen. And so far, I'm happy with the business we've done. I'm happy with the ones that we're close to finishing, supposedly, next couple of days. I'm happy with the players we're still attached to. But, like, we've only signed 2 players. So...
yeah, but it's funny because
like, let's wait and see.
Yeah, most teams have done a little bit of business, but not a lot. There's a few teams. I think we'll talk to JP about Villa. I think Villa's probably been one of the busiest clubs.
Villa,
players in and out. Spurs busy with a lot of players out, not a lot of players in, which is sort of what was expected in this window for us.
Like Spurs are a little under the radar for me right now. Like you didn't seem to lose anyone big, and Solanke coming in is a nice. Bit. I rate him. I think it's good
business. We did. I think we've had a good summer for outs. Like it hasn't been a lot of like big players that matter are out, but players that were on the books that we're still paying for.
Right.
Like Dembele, and Dembele's finally off the books. He's not loaned out to somebody. We've Højbjerg was sold as well. So there's just a few key players like that, and then we brought in a lot of youth, so we're sort of preparing for future.
You're kind of like just trimming the fat versus having
exactly. Yeah, there's just a lot of wage bill silliness that had to be dealt with.
You got to do it.
We've dealt with, and yeah, like you said, Solanke, I think he fits the system really well, and I think he had a really good season with Bournemouth last year. So I expect him.
He's a beautiful player to watch. You're really gonna like when he's on your team. You'll really appreciate like the quality that he has with his feet. Like he's
he's a good passer of the ball, and
you can do something where you're like, oh shit, that guy's a baller, like a street baller. Like he's got that in his locker.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've watched obviously the obvious YouTube clips that you watch when you get a new player from previous teams and previous clubs he's been at. And he looks really good. And again, he suits the system really well. He's in most of the time spent in the 6-yard box or right around that area. So that's where his heat map is. JP, your thoughts on Villa? Like, how you feeling about the summer?
I'm not. A lot of Villa fans are either it's been terrible, or it's amazing and we're great. We're going to be in 3rd or 2nd place, and I'm like, you guys are wild. I think we've had a 7 out of 10 window so far. Losing Douglas Luiz and Diaby was really bad, and I know for a fact that Villa did not expect to lose Diaby we thought we were going to lose.
Where did he go again, JP? Sorry to interrupt.
He went to Saudi Arabia.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, he went
for the money.
for big money. We sold him for like 55 mil.
It's good for your financial situation.
We didn't need it, actually. The sale of Dougie put us clear, and this window's really honestly been 2 windows, right? It was the first at the very beginning of summer for like the PSR window, and we sold Dougie, and we made some trades. We got some players here and there, because when you sell a guy but you buy a guy, like, it's not like 10 and 10, it's 10, and then you only really spend 2 because you spread that out over the length of the contract stuff. So we bulked our squad a little bit with some young players. Only one player has been over the age of 23, and that was Ross Barkley, who I am okay with.
Just a little bit older than 23.
Yeah,
he's a little bit older.
Just a touch.
But getting Onana from Everton helps us kind of offset that loss of Dougie. For me, it's just the glaring loss of Diaby. So we're going to see. There's a lot of rumors with us with João Felix, and it's just seeing who they decide they want to go for in that 10.
You guys aren't attached to that dude, are you?
Yeah, sadly.
Was Onana a good? Do you think that's a good going to be?
I like him a lot. He covers ground. It's unreal how, like, once 2 or 3 steps go, he's fast. He's 6'5". He has really good skills. I really like him. He'll be like a holding 6 that then steps and plays like almost an 8. But I'm really interested to see how he does. I like him. I don't think he's as good as Luis, but he's 22 and Douglas Luis was like 26, 27.
He's not.
And if we had to sell him, I guess this guy's a really good replacement.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of him this last season because United were attached to him, and because James Garner was a United Academy guy, right? Everton, so he doesn't start, or he wasn't starting
at the end. He wasn't.
You might think he would be a lock starter. He really didn't start all that many games.
Like, he was
rotational, and he's not a 6.
No, he's an 8.
Like, it's weird, and
It feels like a bit of a square peg for me.
It might have been because of the Everton system. Like, you don't really know what he is until you start. Like, maybe Belgium is better representative of like what he bring to a team.
I think we're going to try and play him more like Belgium plays.
Yeah. He's great. I would say great with his head. Like, aerial, like defending your box or attacking their box. I think he like levels any team that gets him like considerably.
And we gave up a lot of aerial chances in our box.
Well, he'll help with that.
Yeah.
But
every player is not only 22 or 23, every player is over 6 foot that we're
I don't think there's a replacement. Like, the player you're losing, I think, was like one of the most pedigree classy.
Yeah, it's a tough loss for you guys. I think that's going to hurt you quite a bit. For sure.
And timing's not great, right? Going in the Champions League with losing your best player, but you got the right manager. Champions League, like, enjoy it. You're not going to win it. I think you know that, but just
cool. I was going to ask you, JP, do you think it's gonna hurt your Premier League like the league form at all?
No,
you guys think you'll manage it well?
I just don't think we're quite equipped for another like assault on the top 4 as of right now. Right, we don't have the forward power that we had last season, so I don't think we are going to be top 4 characters. If we can get top 6, if we can get,
I just mean like, do you think you'll? I mean, that's always going to be the case.
Right. I don't think. I think our manager and playing in the Conference League really helped us.
Yeah,
prepare for the Champions League. So I don't think we're going to have as much as a hangover as a lot of people say. Like, oh, like, you got Champions League, you're going to lose every other match after your Champions League. We only lost like 2 matches after Conference League games this last season.
That's pretty impressive.
Were
you playing first team players in that though, or because I know a lot of players?
Yeah, we did.
You did. Yeah, because we played like a B team in that, and we were crap. But
yeah,
I think that's often the case with the Conference League. It's just not taken as seriously.
By the end, we just had too many injuries. If we didn't have a few guys, 3 ACL tears, we would have been still competing for the Conference League title. But like, I think we're going to be fine with the 2. I just don't know if we're as good as when we finished, as good as we were in that like October, November run that we did of like 15 home matches unlost.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible.
Transitioning away from Aston Villa because I get bored of it.
I was about to do the same thing.
Has anybody done anything this window where you guys are like, shit? Like, I hate the phrase "winning the window" because I think it's
I was literally thinking the same
Has
thing. I was
anybody
going
done
to ask the
anything
same
where
question.
like this team is now scary or anything that you guys are like?
I haven't seen that at all. I think I mean Neto obviously to Chelsea is a big one, but Chelsea I just think are such a disarray otherwise.
Honestly,
And he's also not fit enough to.
They could have landed Mbappe, and I still would have been like, "This isn't going to work out."
Wouldn't
It
have
doesn't
mattered.
matter if you're absolute shit at the board level, at the coaching staff.
And they've had a
at
pretty
the front
brutal
office.
preseason by the looks of it as well. From what I've seen, it hasn't been pretty. And
They have
most
a
Chelsea
brutal
fans are
first, like,
not
2
happy.
weeks too.
Yeah,
They got Man City on the first day, I think.
The only team I'm like kind of looking at this summer being like, I see what they're doing. I'm kind of impressed. And it's more like you have to take into consideration who they are, how big they are, and what their draw is. But I think Fulham has had a really good window, like quite quietly.
I think minus losing the what's his name to Bayern. Yeah,
which is a big loss.
Loss because he was kind of like their midfield, you know. But they have replaced.
I know who they're going to bring in. I think they're going to bring in this little Brazilian from Fluminense or one of these things where like he's 24, and I think he will be really good for them. And meanwhile, I think Sessegnon coming back from Spurs to Fulham, where he was so successful for a period, is an interesting.
If he could stay fit though, too. I mean, he's brutal with injuries.
If he can stay fit, Emile Smith-Rowe, I think, is an interesting signing for somebody of their size. Again, for Fulham, they're not done yet, so we can't see it. But like again, taking into consideration what club they are and the size of that club, and the fact that they're like probably perpetually just on the balancing of getting relegated. I like what I'm seeing from them so far, and it seems like they're not done. Like there's a lot of speculation and rumors and attack.
Yeah, rumor is they're finishing up a Villa signing Diego Carlos from us. Our center.
Now, isn't Diego Carlos relatively new to Aston Villa? Is his time already moved on?
No, we got him, and in like his third game, he broke a leg or ruptured ACL or something like that. So he was out the whole first season.
Right.
Then he only really played for us last year.
Paul, how'd you let us get back to Villa again? Jesus.
Well, I don't know how he's not in.
I think
we were talking about how Chelsea were. Where's Eric?
I think he would help them quite a bit.
Do you guys think that Man City have gotten weaker this window? With, I mean, I would assume.
I think losing Alvarez, you're going to be weaker.
Alvarez is likely to go if he hasn't. I don't think he's gone officially yet, but he's likely to go. Is that
they have Pep.
A chink in the armor? Is that like a thing we can all feel maybe optimistic about that they're losing?
We've been trying to do that the last 3 seasons, Paul. Trying to feel optimistic.
Anyone that really
title's done. Man City's winning. It's over. It's who gets second place.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about Arsenal a little bit because that is the conversation, obviously, that people are having about the team that's going to beat them. Arguably, Liverpool and Arsenal are the two that are the closest to them.
Yeah.
Do we see Arsenal finally getting over the line this year? I mean, it'll be the third time doing it. They've strengthened reasonably well in good places. I think Calafiori came in as another defender. Their defense is already very good. So
I think they're kind of doing a little bit of like
Calafiori comes in and Timber comes in, who was signed last season but wasn't able to play because he got just totally fucked up. I think personally, I like Arsenal's chances this season. I would put money on Arsenal winning the title this year and City not putting it together. And that's largely based on, I just think that they're hitting their peak as a group, Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think City are still fucking really hard to beat, but they will be expected to do well in Champions League. They'll be expected to do well in FA Cup and Premier League. They'll win something. I just see this season being Arsenal's like time, basically. And also related to that, Kevin De Bruyne being at that stage.
I think Kevin De Bruyne's age is a factor in that for sure. I feel like just with Arsenal, and I know it's sort of, obviously I'm a Spurs fan, so it's going to sound like it's biased, but they seem to have a problem getting over the line. And that is 2 seasons in a row it's happened. They are closer though. So, you got to give them credit. They've gotten closer and they've strengthened and, well coached good system, like you said, sort of peaking, I think, at the right time. So
Yeah.
there's the potential for them to go there. They have to beat Man City away. Like they have to win those big games. And I think that's been a big part of their problem. They went and drew at Man City and didn't look like they were going to win. If you're going to win a league, you got to go to the best team in the league and beat them. And I feel like that's a mentality thing. If they can switch from that mentality to a City mentality of expecting to beat every team they come up against, then maybe they can get over.
They have to start much faster than they did last season. But I mean, as a good example, Kai Havertz went from being dog shit signing, what the fuck were they thinking, for the first quarter of the season, and then he ended up being a really important, really good player for them. And they're going to start this season with him already bedded in. And like, I don't know. I just had this. I have this gut feeling like it's going to be Arsenal's year. And I'm not mad at that because, again, if it's not going to be City, and I'm just tired of City.
It's so boring. So boring, isn't it?
It's so boring.
Anybody else. Like Liverpool, I guess, is the counterpoint.
Yeah, that was the one I was going to bring up next. What do you think of Liverpool?
I mean, what are they going to be without Klopp? Like, nobody knows. I think the summer window has been very quiet for them.
Yeah, they haven't done anything, have they?
No,
very quiet.
I think they're starting to the fans are starting to hashtag certain things about their ownership group, and
I saw that.
I think Klopp was a master at dealing with the fact that ownership group didn't want to spend, but when they did spend, he was able to identify the right players in the right moments. Whereas I don't think Slot's going to have that kind of power at this moment. So I feel like that's arguably why things aren't getting done, and also why they might fall off a touch. I think obviously Klopp is Klopp, right? So you're not going to be at that level that they were playing at with him. But I mean, they still got really, really good players. And
I'm not even sure what they need though. They're quiet. I think it's
the holding midfielder. Arguably, is probably the thing they need the most, right?
Yeah,
that's what they've struggled with in that position.
That's what they're always saying. But then Endo was really good last season for them, and kind of I think.
He didn't start a lot, though, did he? He was kind of in and out of the team.
I think he was injured for a little bit, but when he was fit, I think he was regularly starting a lot of their games. And again, I think that's maybe he wasn't the sexy signing they all wanted. And when they brought him, it was just like, oh, whatever. But then from all accounts, he was really, really effective for them last season. So maybe they don't necessarily need anything.
That's risky. You freshen the squad is always good. I mean, I guess you freshen the squad massively when you got a new manager with new tactics. So that's
and they have kids that are competing, like Elliot. He's been on the fringes. This is
in and out of the team.
Get in there, get in the team. They've got that kid who's a right back, who's still 20 years old, and he was playing a bunch of
name.
Humphreys. I want to see something like that.
I'm not sure,
but yeah, I mean, I think everybody's thinking the same thing. Man City, Arsenal, and then by a distance, Liverpool in third. And then
it's 4 or 5 teams fighting for that fourth spot, right?
Yeah, and that's gonna. I firmly believe whoever finishes fourth or fifth, it'll probably come down to luck, less injuries for that team versus
something of that nature. Yeah.
I don't think any of those clubs, including my own, so I say this meaning myself as well. I don't think any of the clubs that you might think are in contention for top 4 or 5. If you pick them today, I think it's just total luck if you get that right. I think it's just completely.
Yeah, it's really hard to pick. There's three Chelsea, Man U, or Villa, Newcastle, Spurs, those sort of 4 or 5 teams there that are, you don't know what kind of season they're going to have. Do Newcastle come back into the conversation this season with no Champions League?
I think so.
I don't know, man. There's something weird going on there.
Yeah, they lost a couple of their owners, part ownership. I know they're part owners, but they've left. Those two were pretty critical in what they were doing behind the scenes. I watched the Newcastle doc, and I was sort of learned quite a bit about what they were doing, and they were pretty key to it. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's on. I think it's.
I know they're looking for his name is impossible for me. Gaye from Crystal Palace.
Gaye,
Gaye. The English kid. So they're chasing
good player. He had a good Euros as well.
Yeah, and I think he would be a good player. But whenever a team like Newcastle are investing in defensive reinforcements, I'm just what's your ambition? They
did bring a striker in, but not anybody of a name, they've got Isak, right? So it's kind of he's there already, and it's just a depth issue that they're going to need if any of them get injured.
Yeah, but I think their focus and their ability not to worry about the kind of the drama that happens with Champions and the distraction that it represents. That might be good for them.
Yeah, I do think that hurt them quite a bit. That's why I was asking JP about Villa, because it was a massive problem for them. They also had a massive injury problem.
Well, I think that's Nolly thing really like gave them the unwanted attention and like kind of put a little bit of a damper because they just spent so much money on him, and I think it just kind of put a little bit of a doom and gloom at the club for a little bit. I think that got to
didn't do anything. They haven't done anything. I'm like looking at. I thought maybe I missed
They haven't
something.
done anything.
They haven't done shit.
Yeah,
West Ham's have a.
Well, I was going to bring that up. West Ham have had probably one of the better windows based on some of the players.
It's a flip coin. A lot of those guys are older that they're getting, so I'm really interested. I feel like they're kind of going for the
some loans as well,
approach.
right? They're not permanent. They're just sort of seeing what they can get out of the season, kind of thing, which is sometimes works. But
well, Somerville's an exciting prospect.
He's an exciting prospect.
Killer in the championship. Tadibo is a player they were never expecting to get, and they're probably shocked that they were able to sign him because Man United would have been.
He's a good loan for sure.
And then Juventus would have been second for his signature. And
they're
then
totally okay overspending on players.
They're going to get Aaron Wan-Bissaka tomorrow, probably. Which for
that's how do you feel about losing him? Do you think that's a big miss for United, or you guys got somebody on that side? Who's playing right wing back or right back for you guys?
Aaron Wan-Bissaka will go, and Mazraoui from Bayern Munich will come in like the same day.
Right, so that's the expectation at this point.
One out, one in for me. Almost.
And he is if you have a team that is going to set up with a low block and defend for 80 minutes and take your chances when you get them, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is elite. He's very good at that. If you are going to try to break down a low block, he is like playing with one less player on the field.
Yeah, it's amazing how that works. System wise, what they're capable of.
Great. Like I say this, like he was a good servant for the club. I really like the kid. I hope it works out for him at West Ham. But I am very happy that we've made the decision to move on and take a loss. Like just be like, look, it's a big hit compared to what we paid initially. But that was the old regime's decision to spend that much money for a kid that didn't have offensive capabilities. And let's cash in while we can and bring in some people that we think can do a better job. And I think Delo will probably still be the starter. But there's those signings, and then they signed another guy who's apparently like Falkirk, the German, just came in, the striker.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming. That was a surprise. I'm trying to remember his name. There was a guy they signed very early that was Luis Guillem or some stuff.
Hold on.
Paul pronunciations. Yeah, they still live
until they're like broadcasting a Premier League game. I have no idea what I'm saying. Essentially, my understanding is it's a very effective CDM, holding midfield player, that is going to fill the hole that Declan Rice's absence put in the team, and they still have Paqueta.
Yeah, Paqueta. Yeah, they haven't really done anything with that loss of Rice.
I'm
really
kind of waiting for Alvarez to go for 70 million and Paqueta to go to Man City for 50 million, like the same day.
Yeah, do you think that'll happen?
Pep wanted him. Like those rumors were never,
never quashed.
Like it always seemed like everybody was into it. It's just they couldn't strike a deal because they were asking so much, and I get why they would be asking so much.
Yeah,
but this season, I feel like everybody's got their price. Man City are playing with monopoly money off the Alvarez sale.
Yeah,
they literally made 60 million in profit off that one dude, so they can put it against Paqueta, and all of a sudden their midfield is like, again, probably one of the best in the world.
Yeah. Frustratingly,
it is frustrating. It's very frustrating. I hate it. I hope Pep retires soon. I'm getting tired of this shit.
Well, you did say this is his last season, so hopefully he stands.
He came out and said he never said it was his last season.
Oh, did he?
He could.
No, I must have missed that part.
Leave, but not when.
I wanted to hold on to that.
It was not definitive. What he said was just more like, "Oh, you never know."
Yeah, right.
Like, give us some hope, dude. Like, say you're done.
What do you guys think of the teams coming up? We've got Southampton, Leicester, and Ipswich. Ipswich we haven't seen in the Premier League yet. Any thoughts on those? I mean, Southampton we know quite a bit about, but I
think they are going to come up, and I think they're going to go down.
Yeah, it's a yo-yo scenario for them. Do you think? I think Leicester have a good enough squad to, to finish not in relegation necessarily.
I don't know. Selling Drewberry Hall was a big hit because he was a Premier League quality player that had been in their team when they were in the Premier League last.
apparently he's going to take Chelsea to top 4.
Yeah, we'll see about that. And
Yeah.
they don't have a striker. Like Jamie Vardy's not Jamie Vardy anymore.
No.
So.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They're the one that I would have to see them play a few games to really get a sense of like, are they going to play like a championship team, or are they going to play like a Premier League team that went down and just beat the shit out of the championship and came right back up?
And they lost their manager too,
never
right? Like
been relegated. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They did.
yeah. It's a tough one. You get promoted, and then your manager goes to another club in the same league you get promoted to. It's got to hurt a little bit. You'd imagine, tactically speaking, and the players you want to bring in, and sort of what you're trying to plan after that happens is hard to manage. For the club.
Yeah.
The whispers is that Everton is going to get another points deduction.
Oh yeah, another one, eh?
I'm not kidding you. They were over PSR again.
Somebody explain to me how fucking Chelsea have not been dinged so fucking hard for this shit.
It's
They are
strange,
going
isn't
to
it?
get
Yeah.
you know, these type of things don't get found out as we're finding out with the Man City 115. It takes a while to find the cheaters, and they're gonna get caught, and it's gonna be a lot.
I get so fucking annoyed by this because like my entire summer, the narrative has been like we cannot spend money. Like the books are such on a razor's edge that it's like we gotta sell. And I'm like, I get it. Like I don't have a real problem with that because North American sports like train my brain to know about salary caps and like all the businessy side stuff. So I'm like, I get it. But then I see Chelsea and I'm just like, how in the fuck is Man United, the biggest corporate team in the world, who's got printing money machines? How are they not able to buy a player? But Chelsea, who like, what have they been doing to make money? Where's the money coming from?
Yeah, it's hard to figure out, and it doesn't make any sense.
Like Neto is like that aggravates the fuck out of me.
It's a strange one. It's really strange one
because they don't have 40 other players in that fucking exact same position.
Terrible. Like I
hate them as much as I hate Man City now.
I don't think I would
always
never
hated them. I just think Man City have held on to that top spot for so long. It's harder not to hate them more. But Chelsea started the mess in the first place. They're the ones who created the oligarch and the
100%.
I actually
the
feel a little bit
bad
more
money and all that
sorry
stuff.
for Chelsea than I do feel. It's a little bit like I think we all know what's coming. I think the fans know what's coming, and I think everybody is just like watching this very slow motion crash happen in front of them.
I love it. That part I love.
And
are they going to do a Leeds or what do we think?
I'm bummed.
God, I hope.
No.
I think their coach is out by the new year.
I don't know enough about him to be honest. I've heard question marks about his coaching quality and fit for purpose.
And after 10 games, if they're in the bottom half of the table, after spending a shitload again, I can see him getting fired, and then the cycle just repeats itself.
And we saw how long it took Poch to get them playing good football, and he did by the end of the last season. Like Chelsea only finished a few points behind us when we were like 12 points ahead of them at one point. And Poch got them playing good football. And that took a season, to sort of dig through the weeds to try to manage that situation. And he did a great job of it in the end. And then, obviously wasn't going to get what he wanted, which was control over transfers and have it.
Did he do a great job? I don't know.
And if
I'm saying
I think you're being kind.
Well, I think if you look at the mess, like for them to finish sixth, and where they were at the beginning of the season and where they ended up, and they won like 9 of their last 10 games or something like that. They finished really, really well. So I'm not saying the whole season, but if you look at it from how they started to how they finished, he did a good job in getting him to a place where
on the back
of another season
Gallagher.
With the same manager.
Palmer FC was the
if
he gets injured and Gallagher's gone, then who knows how they're going to do it.
Cole Palmer FC was a big part of that. I think this season
he helped a lot, certainly. Yeah.
I mean, Cole Palmer, if he can replicate his form or any portion of his form last year, and they have what's his face coming back, hopefully starting up healthy this entire season in Cuckoo,
yeah.
They should be optimistic about what they're up, like what's scoring. I mean, Pedro Neto in that mix as well. Like they're going to score goals.
Neto doesn't score a lot though.
Oh,
he doesn't. Like 4 goals last season.
His goal contribution, either goal or assist.
I think goal contribution. Yes, I just said he didn't score a lot.
Yeah. But like when you look at what he does,
his crossing and his like his run to touch and putting the ball in the center is.
But he was scoring last season. He was playing off the right. I actually think he prefers to play off the left. So he was playing out of position in some ways. You could say that. and he was scoring and he was setting up and getting assists for Wolves. Pedro Neto is a fantastic player, and if he was
just
healthy,
can't stay fit. He's just
if he was healthy,
like
if he could stay healthy, he'd be
their
like
club is Jack Wilshere.
Yeah. But his injuries are
pretty much.
He's got muscle injuries. He's got the kind of injury where like sprinting full speed, he'll look amazing, and then he'll pull up lame, and then you won't see him again for 3 months. And that stuff doesn't go away. They're like that's just that's how.
Because we were in form. At least rumors we're in form, and I know I was kind of excited because I know what he can do when he's fit. But then at the same time, I'm like, I don't want a player that we're not going to get to see play. We've already got 2 or 3 of those players in our squad that are driving me nuts.
Were there any rumors for either of your teams that you were really excited about that you're waiting to happen, or that you know it won't happen now, but you're just like, oh fuck, I was looking forward to that.
Eze to Spurs for me. Ezerbeze. That's how you say it. Hard one to say. He's been rumored all summer, and he's been on the top of our list. And there's still potential for him to come in. And I think I
would put Crystal Palace down to like get relegated if he left.
I would agree because that they've already lost
Elise.
Yeah, Elise. So he's gone to Bayern as well, right? So it's. That's the one we're looking at. That I think Spurs. The manager came out yesterday after the preseason game and said that there's more to be done in the window and expect more to happen in the next few days. So, I don't know what that's going to be, but that would be the one that I think Spurs need the most is another winger for depth behind Brennan Johnson. But other than that,
I don't even know if Eze is really a winger though. As well.
Winger forward. He's a 10 as well. Like he can kind of play in a few different positions, but he's forward thinking, and it's a player that would suit what we're doing.
JP, was there a rumor that you were like, oh fuck, I hope this is true?
There's a very small rumor that Villa admire Morgan Gibbs-White, and I would just love that player.
He's a good player. I like him at Spurs as well. Good player.
I don't see it. I'm like the only guy.
I've put him with Jacob Ramsey and Morgan Rogers. Oh, by the way, you guys wait till you guys watch Morgan Rogers play. I think you guys will really enjoy him this season. He's so good.
He's the big bodied midfield player, yeah?
Yeah, but he's a big bodied midfield player that plays like a 10 who likes to collect with his back to goal and then turn guys and drive.
Right.
He's really fun to watch.
Like a Bellingham kind of model.
Yeah. I mean, poor man.
Poor man Bellingham.
He's like best friends with Cole Palmer because they came up together.
Oh, that's cute.
Because they were both at City Academy.
Sure.
And I really am enjoying watching.
Is he going to get a lot of field time? Is he going to play a lot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think he's starting over Jacob Ramsey right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you that Ramsey to Spurs rumor? Was there anything in that for you?
There's 100% stuff in it from the Spurs end. I don't think Villa were willing to entertain anything.
Yeah, we were trying to get rid of Lo Celso as well and trade him the other way.
I think that's your scout who is an ex-Villa scout being like, hey, Villa have this guy
Langer,
that you guys really want, and you guys have this guy you don't want. I could still see Villa going for Lo Celso.
Well, and your manager as well is a fan of Lo Celso. Like he had him at in Spain when he was there. So
I just think Tottenham said, hey, what about Jacob Ramsey? And Villa said, not for sale.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm going to answer my own question by saying,
I was going to ask you, Paul, do you have one you're
Tony and United have been linked recently, and I'm just like,
that'd be a good buy for you guys.
I'm like, this would be good.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, I mean,
because the wild thing is like
he's only
40 million.
Like 40 million, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, why? I get that he had a scandal and he was suspended, and there's this baggage with gambling. But when he came back, that didn't affect his price. He came back and had a quiet by his
very quiet for him,
and then his price plummeted. So now I'm looking at it going, well, are we really worried that he won't be able to score? And I'm not. I think that guy,
he's got gold in him for sure. Yeah,
like the amount he does in Brentford, I don't mind if he goes through a bit of a quiet period because it's Brentford. But you take that guy's ability and what he's been doing at Brentford, and you put him in any top 6 club, and I think you're getting a 15 to 20 goal season.
Yeah, if a team's creating anything, then he's going to get on the end of it.
You guys want me to ruin all your hope right now?
Sure, do it.
Ivan Toney to Man City for the Alvarez money.
I don't think he'd do it. And I don't
think and they will 100%
I don't think he's a Pep player.
Back and forth.
I don't think he would do it because I don't think he wants to play with Haaland like that. And I don't think
I
Pep would want him. He's not He's not.
He's not a
He's-
pet player
He's
at all.
the exact kind of striker Pep
Holland
doesn't.
was not a pet player, and he's killing it.
Yeah, but any
Well,
any
he had one
striker's going to
season where
do
he
well
wasn't.
in that system with with
100%.
the balls they're going to get. But at the same time, I just think from an attitude and sort of stylistic perspective, I don't think he suits Man City at all.
He plays with he doesn't. I
He'll be
think
another
Tony
Jack
plays
Grealish.
with a certain degree of freedom as a striker, and he needs that freedom to do what he does. And I don't think Man City allow anybody to have
Right,
any
they're too
degree of
structured.
right. So would Tony say no to Man City? I think he'd second guess it, but I actually cannot see Pep wanting Tony for his system, and even bringing him into the group. I think he just I think he prefers young guys who are like running machines. That if they can score, great. But he's probably looking for more of a just pure running machine that he could put in there, and others can score the goal, and he can help with the high press and all that stuff. But I mean, even then, as we're talking about it, I'm like, why aren't Arsenal attached to Tony right now? Because they want to win the Premier League.
They need a 9. Like I know Havertz came good at the last season, and
but there's nothing. There's no rumors with them, and
no.
the only rumor I've seen with them all summer is this kid from Sporting in Portugal, and he's like an 80 million striker, and it just sounds like bad business. Like, don't do it.
Yeah.
But no attachment to Tony. So I don't know how many, 2-3 more weeks before the window actually ends.
It's the 30th. Two weeks in a couple of days, I think.
Yeah.
It could
not
all
long.
change so much.
It might be a crazy end to the transfer season.
Oh, I feel like truthfully, there's going to be some major moves.
I think there'll be a lot. Yeah, I think because of the Euros, everything was delayed, right? So I think you're going to see a bunch of teams do a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I think this week will be very busy for.
There's so many big teams in need, like a Bayern Munich not winning the league. That's crazy.
They've done some good business though. That they should.
Their business.
They're not going to. They got Harry Kane.
Elevating. Barcelona is going to do a ton of crazy stuff that makes zero sense.
Yeah.
Oh God.
All these clubs are doing these things that will have trickle-on effects. So I think the last day of the window will be really busy, and I love that. I have a lot of time for that. But
yeah,
I personally would like to see 3 moves this week for Man United. So a total of 4 or 5, and then going into the last days. Some rumors around Ivan Toney would be nice. And then I can hold my breath and see how it goes. And if it doesn't work out, at least I got the players I kind of want.
Is Rashford still your 9? Is he? I mean, I know he isn't always a 9. He plays off the wing sometimes. But is he your only player right now?
That got that player last year. Norwegian
Højlund, Rasmus Højlund, yeah.
And then we got Xerxes this summer.
Yes.
Okay.
So we've got 2 different kinds of players. One's a 9, and one's, by his own admission, closer to a 9.5.
Like a false 9 kind of scenario? Or?
Yeah, he's not there to lead the line in that way. He's there to kind of drop into the midfield and help. Kind of what Harry Kane can do, but also Harry scores. This kid can just do the part where Harry Kane brings players in, and he can't score for shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he's a baller. He's 6'4", low center of gravity. I don't know how that's possible at 6'4".
Short legs.
But he's one of these guys who nutmeg 5 guys in the first 10 minutes that he plays at Old Trafford. He'll make a point of it.
Wow.
So I love watching him, but I don't expect him to score more than 6 goals. But it kind of just is what it is.
Yeah.
I think Højlund's going to score a bunch, but between the two of them, they're too young. So a Tony coming in, for me, I would love that.
Yeah, you're getting 15 goals out of him, which is a big difference between what you got last season.
Yeah. There's just so much work to be done.
You guys finished 8th last season. Where do you expect you'll finish the season? Do you have any thoughts on it? Or
I think we're in the 4 or 5 spot. Again, depending if we stay healthy or healthier than others, and depending what goes on with other teams and what players they lose and when they lose them. But I think it comes down to we would be in the mix for 4th, 5th spot, and that's the best we could do. And I think, like I said earlier, anybody who's in the 4th, 5th spot, you're one of 3 or 4 teams that's probably in the same boat. And it's
gotten lucky to get there.
Who's got the calmer water all season will have a better result.
Yeah.
But I'm still, I'm having said all that, I'm still very optimistic. I'm looking forward to the season. It's such a fresh, clean start now. my team's got like a lot of young guys. I'm really excited to start to see what.
Yeah, we've got a ton of young guys coming through that are incredible.
I
That
feel like
is
a lot of us.
really exciting. I was going to ask you guys about that. Do you guys have any JP that you're excited about? Any young players?
I was going to say, I just feel like a lot of us have like a really hopeful look for this upcoming season. Like I all feel like, bar Chelsea, everybody else is like, you know what? We're looking okay. We're all right. We're all right. I'm hopeful this season. So, we got Philip, what's his name? Jaden Philogene Badace, who we sent to Hull, and he just tore up the championship last year. And because we had a buyback clause and a sell-on fee percentage, we actually got him back for like half the price. And so he's like 21 and just had a breakout season at the championship. And I really like him. He's been looking really good. He's a wide player, like a 7 or 11. And I'm really excited about him.
We've got this kid. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, Mikey Moore. He's 16.
Yeah.
He's getting his first pro contract offered to him tomorrow. I think he turns
Did
17.
you guys buy him from somebody? Did you guys buy him from somebody?
No, he's came through academy.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah. Really good player. Like, it's crazy how like he just looks like a man. You know how Rooney was like thick and like had that sort of manly look, but he was super young. He's got that kind of that body shape, and his ability is just absurd. You're like, how's this guy 16? But he's probably going to be in our squad. He won't play in the Premier League, but he'll probably play in cups and Europa League.
JP, where do you think your team's going to end? Because you have to answer that question.
Yeah.
If we don't add anybody else, like I'm thinking like 5th to 7th. I don't think we break top 4 again.
Okay.
I think we have the coach that can get us above where we should be, which would have been like 7th with where we're at right now. We're heavily linked to this Feyenoord right back. One of the new Liverpool coach's favorites and their captain. If we get him and like a really nice 10 or a nice withdrawn striker, then I'm going to put us back up at like the 4th, 5th, 6th spot. I'm going to put us fighting for that top 4 again.
Cool.
So just depends on if we can get it. I think we're a little tight on our financials right now.
We'll zoom in. I want you
Yeah,
to
no kidding. That got close.
You're getting relegated, JP.
That's not happening.
Brian, what's going on? Where do you think you're going to finish?
I think we're going to improve. I mean, we finished 5th last season with not finishing the season well. Ange's second season is always like he always comes in the second season and improves the team from the season prior. I think we'll finish 4th probably. I think we will, maybe even 3rd, depending on what Liverpool do. And I think we've addressed some of the squad issues that we had, which was depth in pretty much every area, so we can compete in all comps, and then having a striker that can score some goals. So Richarlison and Solanke in that position, both if both can stay fit and perform, we'll do well. We'll score a lot more goals.
Do you guys give a shit about finishing top 4 if Champions League goes to 5 spots?
No,
not much. I mean, I think what I care about is improving from the season prior. I think that's just the thing that I'm looking to see is I don't even the Champions League part of it isn't the reason why I'd want to see us in 4. I think it's more about
I'm
improving.
Just so used to the idea of top 4 being like the marker of like the thing that even if United got top 5 and we had Champions League and really there was no difference between 4 and 5, I think I'd still be like, fucking, we need top 4. We got top 4.
It's ingrained in us, Paul. It's been that way for so long.
Yeah.
Before
I'm so trained. I'll be like, if
we always said the top 4 because top 4 got you Champions League.
I know where it comes from, JP. I'm just saying. I've just been so conditioned that I don't think I would ever be like.
To me, it's just Champions League.
It's like one of those things where like finishing ahead Liverpool doesn't really fucking matter at all.
No,
but I still always want to finish ahead of.
Well,
Liverpool.
yeah, that's different though. That's just rivalry.
But at the end of the day, it's the same thing, kind of. It's just like top 4. I mean, top 4 finish means I'm finishing above whoever got 5 or 6 or the other like spots, right?
The other teams that are in that sort of.
I wouldn't want to be the team that limped in with the extended 5th spot.
If Villa limped in with the extended 5th spot, I'm going to be over the moon. Back-to-back Champions Leagues, over the moon. Don't care.
I'd be shocked if you guys were able to do that with playing in the Champions League. This can be really difficult for you. I think you'll struggle a little bit because of it.
And you're going to tune in to your show tonight all about Aston Villa at 10 o'clock to.
We're actually
hear
having
a
to
more
postpone
detailed
that
talk
today.
about that.
We have
You had to postpone it,
that day. Yeah. Our guest that we were coming in was like, dude, my flight got delayed. I'm stuck, so I can't. I was like, all right.
Who did you guys have coming on for your guest?
One of our buddies, Matt Conley.
Just another Villa.
He's a college coach actually for LSU. I want to say LSU for the girls program, and he's a Villa fan. And he's one of our buddies, and we were hoping to get him on. So.
Well, look for that show when it does end up on the channel at some point.
Certainly glad I raced home to do the graphics for your show.
Trust me, we found out an hour and a half ago. Just
still no Connie. He's nowhere to be found.
But it's okay because there's not that many Villa fans that watch our show. Like it's all United, it's all Liverpool fans, all the top 4, greedy 6, whatever you want to call it. So it'll be fine. We can drop it tomorrow.
I think
somebody's a little bitter there, JP.
I'm generally uncomfortable with how many Aston Villa fans watch our show.
So here's my question. Have you guys heard this rumbling that Man U basically got gifted a 75 million PSR windfall?
Broke
on Talk Sports about 2 or 3 days ago, where an unnamed source within the EPL basically said, yeah, when everybody got like a 1 mil, the last year got a 1 mil COVID relief.
Sure.
Man, you got 25.
I not only heard the whispers, I can tell you in detail all about it, and it's all completely fine.
Is it true or false?
No, it's true. Man United got more money than other clubs,
and not like a little bit. Like
why was it, Paul? Tell us why.
Because the first of all the clubs agreed to what kind of money you could be given out based on the loss that was impacted by COVID. So all the clubs agreed to it. So everybody was very visual. Man United is a publicly traded company, so they need to actually show the investors a degree of bookkeeping transparency that other EPL teams don't need to. So they knew down to the penny all the money that was lost because of COVID. And it was things like international tour revenue was lost. One of the sponsors went under because of COVID, and like 2 or 3 other factors, but all of them are actual lost income because of COVID. And
it was easily demonstrable.
The books say here's all the money that we lost because of COVID that we think because of all the teams agreeing to it up front, we're up for reimbursement for. So they got it all, and they got more than the other clubs, but they got more because they lost more. And it's all really black and white. And
it sounds fair. Like I wouldn't.
It's sensationalistic, like the way it was first reported, and people were saying things.
Man, the special club, they get treated differently. Yeah.
When you actually look into it, it's all very
nuts, like JP. Where you can see JP was excited about talking about it because he was
like, Man United being booked. Why should they get more money just because they lost more?
Well, it does come off very sketchy.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think it's
a tweet. Maybe it comes across as sketchy. If you're investing, reading 3 or 4 sentences.
I haven't been able to find.
If you read a full paragraph about it, just a paragraph, 4 sentences.
I honestly haven't been able to find anything else.
It's
that's very quiet. That's why I was like,
my circle of news is very Man United heavy. So if you want more information, I'm happy to share more information with you.
I'd like to read about that one.
It does sound legitimate to me. I mean, when you think about Man United being publicly traded and how they're organized and how big of a club they are and how much revenue they generate off the pitch, and COVID would affect them probably in a different way than it would say affect a Villa or
that publicly traded part was never even mentioned.
Yeah, because it's not sensationalistic. It needs to sound terrible and scary for everybody to make something out of it.
The weird thing is the publicly traded thing just means that they need to have very transparent,
really good books. Which is good for them. But
every club, the way I heard it, I was just like, what? Like Premier League teams don't keep good books though.
Well, clearly they don't.
It's really that complicated. It's just
clearly Man City does not keep open books at all.
Yeah, there's a few teams we know that struggling with that open book kind of situation.
Okay, gents. So the league starts on Friday. Man United, Fulham, and then we are full swing. We are go go go. We are the North End fan channel. YouTube, we're back, baby.
Sunday roast, baby. This is what we're doing.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do a Sunday roast, which is a bit of a roundtable where we will talk about the events of the weekend because we will actually be able to react to real games that happened on the weekend. Any and all news, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We also do some pretty specific club content, so Aston Villa, Spurs, Man United, Liverpool. And if you want to get involved, if you want to join the North End as a contributor, just reach out, throw us a message, and we'll chat. We're always looking for people to help us out.
Yeah, reach out on our Twitter or on Instagram and leave us a message, and we'll get you in for sure. And make sure you like and subscribe because that's good for us.
Like and subscribe.
Good for us. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna call it there then. Thanks for watching, everybody.
That's professional we are.
Yeah, look at this. There we go. So pro. Amazing. All right.
Fabrizio, call us.
Thanks for watching, folks. Cheers.
Look what I can do.
This is the North End. This is the North